Hello, my name is Derek Giovacchini, and today I will be discussing why the workers at my startup company, Helping Hammers, will be designated as independent contractors. So, Helping Hammers is a startup that connects homeowners with handy persons for project-based work. We are looking for investors to help us get started. The purpose of this presentation is to explain our ethical, financial, and legal reasoning for designating our workers as independent contractors rather than employees. After hearing about our reasoning, we hope you will join the team as investors. So here's some key details about the company. We do require our workers to wear company shirts while they are performing their projects. We also require our workers to use a company app to process all payments and sign off on work. This is very similar to Uber and Lyft and other ride-sharing apps where they have to use the similar platform in order to conduct business. And we do require our workers to do at least 5 jobs per week to stay on the company list. So for starters, I would like to just get a baseline of what an independent contractor and an employee is for the purpose of the presentation. So an independent contractor is a worker who individually contracts with companies to provide specialized or requested services on a project basis. They are considered to be self-employed and they are free to offer services to anyone and not bound to a single employer. As you will see throughout the presentation, this does define our workers and goes into the reasoning as to why we believe we should be designating them as independent contractors. On the other hand, an employee is anyone who performs services if the business can control what will be done and how it will be done. Again, through the presentation, you will see that our employees do have control over how they conduct their work on the project basis, and therefore they should not be designated as employees. This is decided through a three-part test from the IRS. These three parts are a behavioral control test, which is testing if a worker has control of what they do and how they do it, a financial control test, which tests if a worker controls how they are paid and if expenses are covered or if they are provided tools and supplies, and the type of relationship, which tests if there are written contracts or benefits for the worker. And finally, employees must be paid minimum wage, receive benefits, and be paid overtime. So starting off with the financial significance between these two designations, for an independent contractor, the employer does avoid paying for benefits for the worker, which includes insurance, paid vacation, retirement plans, overtime, and other benefits. There are also no training expenses, and flexible schedules allow for more efficiency. With independent contractors, often workers get to choose their own schedules and are not locked into a schedule, which allows for more efficiency throughout the business as independent contractors can come in and out more flexibly. And employers are required to pay employers are required to pay employer taxes for their employees, which includes Social Security, Medicare, and unemployment taxes. And also payroll costs can increase by up to 30%. The ethical significance, intentionally denying employee benefits by mislabeling workers as independent contractors. So there is a side of ethics to that where companies such as Uber and Lyft or other ride-sharing companies have been accused of intentionally trying to avoid paying these benefits to their workers, thus saving money in an unethical way. A lot of these workers have argued that they deserve to have these benefits. So no overtime pay, no right to unionize, no health care, no protection against discrimination. These are all important things that a lot of workers are looking for and desire in their place of work that Uber and Lyft are not offering because they are labeling their workers as independent contractors. And yes, companies do often deny these benefits to avoid paying the taxes on them. Finally, we have the legal significance. So the AB5 bill that came out created new criteria apart from what the IRS had already released for defining what an independent contractor is. So a worker is an independent contractor if they are not being controlled or supervised by an employer, they do not perform work that is considered essential to the business, and they can run their own businesses with similar services. And workers must meet all three criteria to be deemed an independent contractor. Ride-sharing companies such as Uber and Lyft very much opposed this bill, and in response, they came together and came out with Preposition 22. This would allow these companies to continue using independent contractor designation, but it did force them to increase the wages of their drivers, provide health insurance to drivers working more than 15 hours per week, provide compensation for loss due to income lost income due to workplace injuries, so a driver that is injured on the job, and also provide additional training to prevent discrimination. So when this bill passed, it kind of was a bit of a compromise between allowing these companies to keep the independent contractor designation while still offering some benefits to their workers overall to make it more fair for them. So going into the reasoning for why Helping Hammers will be using an independent contractor designation, starting with financials. It is financially beneficial to use the independent contractor designation. We will be saving money on benefits, training, and allow for flexible scheduling. And as previously mentioned, this will save approximately 30% on our payroll. We do believe that from a financial perspective, this is the best option for Helping Hammers moving forward. Ethical reasoning, workers do get to choose their own schedules. And so while they are missing out on some benefits, having the ability to be flexible with their schedule and choose the amount of hours that they work in the week does counteract this. We still will be providing some benefits for workers under Proposition 22. As mentioned, healthcare will be provided for workers who work more than 15 hours per week under the Proposition 22. And this is very beneficial for the company because paying for full Medicare for workers that are not working more than 15 hours per week would be very financially harmful to the company. And so only offering this to the workers who are putting in the most hours per week does seem to be the most ethical solution. And workers can easily leave Helping Hammers to find employment if they deem that their situation, that they don't enjoy the situation of being an independent contractor. There are many handyman, handy person type roles out there that can be found. And the employee designation would result in increased cost for consumers. And this is also the other side of the ethics to this, is that if we do label our workers as employees, it would be unethical to our customers who would be forced to take the burden of the increased costs in using our platform. Finally, with legal reasoning, using the same reasoning as the ride-sharing apps, we would be able to identify our employees as independent contractors under Proposition 22. With the AB5 bill passing and using the new criteria and the ride-sharing companies coming together to form Proposition 22, we would be able to use that same reasoning to justify our designation. And this would result in granting more benefits to our workers, such as giving Medicare to employees working over 15 hours a week. But this still saves money in comparison to the employee designation for the previously mentioned reasons, such as not having to provide this to everybody, especially not the workers that are working under 15 hours per week. So thank you for listening to my presentation. And after hearing our reasoning for labeling our workers as independent contractors, I do hope that you will join Helping Hammers as investors.